Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Gensler, how much money has the SEC spent to analyze the impact of climate change on capital markets since you took over?
Sir, we have about a $2+ billion budget, and part of that is our economics unit of about 160 people. But our remit is just about the disclosure regime. It's not, if I understand your question, about climate risk. We're not a climate risk regulator. We're a disclosure regulator and a capital markets regulator.
Okay, so how much money have you spent doing that function?
Our oversight of the capital markets, $2+ billion a year.
Okay. Is it your view that the SEC should be guiding companies and investors in the type of investments they are making?
As mandated by Congress, we're merit neutral. Investors get to decide which investments they take, but it's based on full, fair, truthful disclosure. So that's our remit.
So investors get to decide, but you believe ESG should be a component of that decision-making process?
Well, what we know today is that hundreds of companies are making disclosures with regard to climate risk, and investors across the spectrum, from small investors to large, are currently using those climate risk disclosures in their investment decisions.
But do you believe that should be kind of the guiding principle of how people invest?
It's currently happening in the U.S. and around the globe, and so what we have a role then to do is to help bring some consistency and comparability in disclosures that are already happening.
Does the SEC deserve any culpability in the collapse of FTX?
A number of entities in the crypto field are non-compliant with U.S. law as adopted by Congress over the years, and we're going to be a vigorous cop on the beat to help bring them into compliance.
Respectfully, that's not what I asked. I said, does the SEC deserve any culpability for the collapse of FTX? Yes or no?
Look, I think that when people are defrauding the public, we go after them, and that's what we've done here
you're not
and
answering
elsewhere.
my question. You're not answering my question. I'm asking you a very simple, straightforward one. Does the SEC deserve any culpability at all?
I understand your question. I'm very proud of the SEC and its staff, and we will continue to pursue.
So you don't believe the SEC deserves any culpability with respect to the collapse of FTX?
We have a whole field in crypto that understands the law, and if they are providing exchange services, broker-dealer services, clearing services of crypto security tokens, they should come into compliance. Or
reclaiming my time, why didn't the SEC take action on FTX's alleged secret lending of at least $4 billion to Alameda Research?
Again, I'm not able to talk about specific companies or investigations, but I will say all of these companies should come into compliance with the law, and until they do, we will continue to pursue as a cop on the beat and investigate and follow the facts and the law. But it takes time to build cases. It takes time to do them thoughtfully and carefully as you'd want us to do.
I would just like you to answer my question, but that's fine. As you've proceeded with such drastic rulemaking at a rapid pace, the SEC's Office of Inspector General raised significant concerns with your short comment periods limiting the amount of feedback SEC staff receives. Why have you ignored the IG and pushed for shortened comment periods?
We actually have, we benefit greatly from comment periods. So on average, we have our rules outstanding for about 70 to 80 days from when we...
I would just remind you, at a Bloomberg conference, you said you don't trust industry participants to provide honest feedback. So do you actually benefit from comment periods or no?
Yes, we very much benefit from
So you take back your comments where you said you don't trust their feedback?
The feedback that we get is helpful, and it's part of a robust input from the public.
So you do trust their feedback? Your quote was, "You don't trust industry participants to provide honest feedback." Do you or don't you?
We rely on that feedback as part of our ongoing engagement.
The gentleman's
with
time has
public.
expired.
Your obfuscation is amazing. Congratulations.